I just sent my latest short film off to get dubbed with an amazing sound engineer, Ryan Kerr. This film has been a kind of labour of love, as all short film projects can be. And one of the things that I started to think about when I was finishing it up is why it's taken so long. And one of the reasons is, and one of the reasons why this always happens when it comes to short films, is that it's not your job. It's not your full-time job. So you can't actually just work on it all the time. You have to be in the right frame of mind. You have to switch into filmmaker mode, and you've got to remember all that stuff that you wanted to imbue into the film, like all the meaning and all the kind of symbolism and everything that you've learned over the years about filmmaking. You want that to be represented within your latest bit of work so that it's a step up in your filmography, and it's, you know, like you're making better work every time. And that's tricky if you have a different job that is completely unrelated, and especially if that job is busy and, you know, you're stressed out at work or whatever. Like, being able to switch off, it's a nice thing to have, to switch off and just go and do some editing or whatever, but it's one of the things that can be really tricky about being a filmmaker and also not doing it full time. So when I first started making short films, I was a chef, and I mean, the chef thing didn't really take up much of my mental capacity. It was more that it took up my mental ability. I didn't really have any kind of mental faculties left to make good work. So ultimately, my whole filmmaking career suffered because of it and delayed me a lot. But when I started to think about how I could kind of fund my own films and make my own films, I started to think, okay, right, if you're going to have a career as a director, how are you going to support that? Because one of the things that you start to realize is that loads of people who get into this and who do this, they're funded by their parents. Some people also fall really nicely into like fundable categories, and that's not their fault, that's just the system, and good on them, take advantage of that. So I needed to think about how can I support this filmmaking career with a real job. What job could I do? So I thought, all right, I could work in the film industry. And one of the things that you realize quite quickly is that there's not really a lot of spare time going on when you work on big shoots and everything. So either you do big stuff where you do 4 months on and then you can take as long as you want off because you've just made loads of money. But I have a family and I don't like to be away for fucking months at a time or doing like, you know, 10-hour days for 6 weeks in a row. I don't really like doing that. And the perfect solution that I came across was become a freelancer who shoots things, because then, one, you can buy your kit through the business, so you can build up a nice shooting kit to help shoot your short films. Two, you can be around people all the time who do this. For instance, Ryan Kerr, that sound designer, he's also an amazing sound recordist and he's worked on jobs that I've worked on. And so you build up your little network, your little community of people, and you can find the people amongst there who want to work on creative stuff. And then you can say, look, I'm going to make something soon, don't have any money. And if they like the project, they'll probably come and work on it. The idea that you can just be around a creative industry and just using a camera, like shooting all the time, it serves you so well when it comes to like going on set to shoot your own thing, because you're ready for it, because you're doing the reps, you're practicing. And the more that you make stuff, the better you get. But it's very difficult to make loads of short films. It just is. I mean, look, how many people actually do that? There's a limitation. And the limitation is, you can't get all your pals to help you on every single project. For instance, I keep coming back to Ryan, the sound recordist. Ryan can't come and work on every project that I have, on every idea that I have. Like, he's got to make money, he's got to pay his mortgage. And plus, he wants to work on other people's projects. Getting those reps in is quite difficult. But if you can get the reps in while you're getting paid, then that's a whole different thing. Now, you might be thinking, but don't you shoot like corporate video and like promo films for little businesses and everything? And yeah, that's right, I do. But the thing is, even that corporate work, that is still reps. You're still shooting. You're still dealing with locations and lighting a face and moving a camera. It all adds up. It's 10 times more effective than if you were working in a bar or you worked for an insurance company and you were like, at the weekend I'm going to go and shoot a film. By the time you finish your insurance work for the week and you go and shoot the film, you're going to be completely fucking bamboozled as to like, what it is that you actually wanted to do. And you go, oh yeah, what was all those things that I'd read about and practiced, or what did Akira Kurosawa say in his autobiography about, like, you know, lighting the scene or whatever. It's just different. Your brain has to switch on and get into that zone. And like me now, I work in this studio. I use cameras every day to make a living. And when I'm not using them to make a living, I'm using them to make creative projects. And I think it's kind of one of the things that a lot of people don't really talk about. It's kind of like, this is something that you could do to fund your creative lifestyle. And I think if you're trying to make that side thing become your main thing, for example, me trying to be a director, I have the best chance possible if I am constantly using cameras, lighting, capturing sound, all of that stuff. I'm just putting myself in a much better and more likely situation to ever find a proper successful career in this industry. So something to think about, you know, when people say I'm a videographer, I hate that term, but when people say that, you know, you just conjure up these images that you're just going to be, your career as a videographer will be you just filming events or something like that. But, you know, every time I make a little promo film for a tattoo studio or a barber shop or whatever, I've never done a barber shop, don't know why I said that, I'm putting together a narrative, and that's, to me, like, that is filmmaking. So I'm getting as much practice as I possibly can. So anyway, if you're trying to build that creative career, then start thinking about how you can get paid to do it, even if it's not in the way that you ultimately want to do it. Because getting those reps in and surrounding yourself in that environment and around those people will 10x your chances of actually finding either, you know, financial or career success, or just creative success, getting better at it. The other thing to consider is that in my career, in my day job, filmmaking career, I only work maybe, you know, 20 hours a week, and I end up ultimately having a lot of time in the office. Now, recently I've devoted that time by choice to creating content like this and courses and all that, and guides and coaching and everything, to try and help other people find a career like this, because I think it's a really valuable thing to have. And you know, I enjoy teaching it, and I enjoy showing people it from my perspective. But I'm still allowing the time to get these things finished. And my latest film, Man in the Sky, has taken quite a long time, but again, that's just come down to life getting in the way. 2 young kids, broken arms this year, course building, content creation, and the day job. It's a bit much. I take on too much. So listen, if you want to learn how to get started in a career like mine so that you can build a little creative day job that will fund your creative night job, then hit the link below. I've got a course called the 30-Day First Client System, which is really just like, it doesn't really cost hardly anything. It's pretty much almost free. And you could use it to launch your creative freelance career in like 30 days or less. So, I mean, what's not to like? Anyway, thank you for swinging by the studio today. And when the film is ready, I'll stick a link below. It'll be on my other channel, but you can go and watch it, and I'm giving you permission to come back here and say, don't quit the fucking day job. Anyway, thanks for watching, subscribe and all that.